I think if you haven't got resilience, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur because it takes a massive amount of resilience in every different aspect. But Steve Jobs says the public doesn't know what they need. You've got to show them what they need.
You're launching a Leuki as an AI healthcare token. How do you see AI improving daily care support and connection for families?
We're in a very disruptive, evolving era. So I think we're in the right place, the right time, and to have what we're doing be accepted and to be seen as a new way forward and a way that will be beneficial to society.
AI, blockchain, or community, which drives the future of healthcare?
Well, I think AI is the one that people's going to see. Blockchain is invisible. So blockchain has done its stuff. It's a proven tech. AI is still emerging. We're in the most transformative time that the human species has ever seen. And the question is, who's going to make those transformations and who's going to control them?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Finds Tech podcast. Today, we have a very wonderful guest with us, Simon Hooper. Hi, Simon. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you'll find me very wonderful. I'll do my do my best. Very good, thanks. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Simon. So, Simon, before we start, can you please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us about a bit more about ReMeLife?
Yes. My name is Simon Hooper. I've been involved in technology pretty much from day one. Originally, I was a petroleum geologist, building software offshore. Had a very interesting, fun life. So my background is very varied. I've come through many different worlds and gained experience in all of them. That has all kind of led me to where I am today, courtesy of my mother becoming very ill and bedbound, and I found myself building tech in healthcare. So I'd migrated through many different worlds, as many people do these days, I guess. But now I found myself the last 10 years building apps and engaging in healthcare, mainly in care homes and with those being cared for at home. And I guess COVID was the event that focused my mind on the power of what blockchain and crypto can do. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm bringing cutting edge tech, AI, blockchain, crypto into the healthcare world, which can often be slow to adopt. So quite a challenge.
And Simon, I will be very honest with you. So most of the guests we talk to, most of the people that they do and pursue things in the fields that they belong to. But for on your side, it's quite different because you were in different fields like oil, property, and media, and now you are pursuing Web3. So I want to really know, like, how did all these experiences lead you to starting ReMeLife?
There's two types of entrepreneurs that succeed, I would say. And the first is that which comes directly from one discipline and is experienced and expert in that field. As I was a geologist, I was, a leading geologist in my sector of geology for many years until an economic cycle, of which we're all aware of, destroyed my career path. So I had to change. There was no work for a consultant's freelance geologist. So I opted for property and I made a lot of money in property. So my life has been one of looking for opportunities. And this is where the second entrepreneur comes in. The second type of entrepreneur, you can call it Richard Branson, I guess he's kind of my model, is the person who is always looking for an opportunity. And then what they do is they ensure that they're not the smartest person in the room. They surround themselves with experts in the world they want to go in. And that's what I've done. I am expert in those worlds that I've been part of. In other words, I've developed skills in the entrepreneurial skill set itself, which is quite complex, as you know. And at the beginning of any venture, you have to be multidisciplinary enabled, from law to IP, et cetera, et cetera. But probably the lead skills for an entrepreneur that they need to have, I would say, are management and admin. And as I've said, finding good people to actually undertake what you want to do. So I fall into that second category. I've been very skilled in a particular field, so I know what it takes to run $1 billion drilling operation. I was on the geology side, not the engineering side, but I know what big projects require and how to be a part of managing them. But I also have that entrepreneurial skill set that makes it possible for me to say, my mother's sick. No one has built any tech that supports her need. I better go and build something. Now, who do I need to make that possible? And then go out and get them and inspire them to God willing, greatness.
That sounds really amazing, Simon. So, out of all these disciplines that you have, like you have been into media, you have been into property and oil,
Yeah.
which one you have enjoyed the most? Are you enjoying your current role more, or do you think that you have enjoyed the previous
Well,
ones more?
there's different types of enjoyments in life, aren't there? There's pure simple pleasure, which I certainly got when I owned and ran music venues. My midlife crisis, as my wife calls it, was going into the world of music because I'm a bad guitarist and wanted to see what I could achieve. So that was pure pleasure. Um, Not a lot of financial pleasure. Property was financial pleasure. Just seeing one's net worth go up every day as the ludicrous politicians around us inflated property prices due to uncontrolled inflation. That was a financial joy. But what I'm doing now is an intellectual joy, actually, as well as a social impact pleasure. I never thought I would be this person, but I absolutely love seeing the pleasure on the faces of our clients, people with autism, learning disabilities, Parkinson's, when they see the joy of a photograph they remember, when they connect with family members through a shared experience. That is an emotional joy, absolute pleasure. The intellectual pleasure comes from battling with the problems that bringing tech to new markets causes. It's not easy to get healthcare to adopt. Well, it's pretty much impossible to get healthcare to adopt crypto, but there are many reasons why there should. Eventually, now they are adopting blockchain. I was the first person to hold a blockchain for healthcare event in London many years ago, 2018. And no one thought anyone would come, but in fact, we thought there'd be 20 people on the seats. There's 250 people in the room, so they're interested. But the world of healthcare naturally is scared of innovation that could cause risk and of course failure and cost implications. So there's the sort of final one that I'm experiencing now, which is the joy that comes with the pain of trying to achieve something that people tell you is impossible, and the joy of actually finding people who can help bring it to reality. So there's a lot of pleasure to be had in the entrepreneurial world, but there's a lot of pain and risk and so forth.
That sounds amazing, Simon. So, like, you often talk about the inequalities and inefficiencies in today's care world. What moment or experience made you realize something had to change?
Well, I've literally had road to Damascus moments. There's no doubt about it. Um, I guess the first one was just my mother's experience and seeing a carer come into my mother's room and not even remember her name because they were inadequately prepared. There wasn't the tech to support them, and realizing that one could very easily put a person's life, the select elements you want of that person's life, onto a tablet and have that carer become adequately informed such that the person they're caring for really enjoys the relationship, the experience, and the carer enjoys it. And so for me, that was the first moment when I found that my mother, who hated seeing the carers, was now being taken down to the pub by the carers because they were both enjoying each other's company. So I knew there was something
Hmm.
there. But there's been many moments like that. I mean, I guess I can skip through a few of them, but obviously I've always been interested in blockchain and the power of crypto to reach people. I mean, one of my big experiences in life has always been sales and how to reach people and how to engage with them, and of course how to benefit and profit from them, but as well as bringing benefit and gain to them. And during COVID, I spent a lot of time studying healthcare and its past and its history to find out how it got into its current, somewhat pitiable, albeit technologically advancing state, but also the veil came off my eyes. Well, 2008 when it first came off my eyes with regard to the economy and why it is what it is and who are pulling the strings. So during COVID, I started putting all these jigsaw pieces together. The friendly societies in the early 1900s, where the working classes battled against rampant wealth disparity, courtesy of the Industrial Revolution, and did so
Hmm.
by setting up local communities that managed their financial needs. A decentralized community, basically. I realized that these communities that were building up centuries ago were basically surviving and gaining healthcare through self-supporting, which is not our current model. Everything is centralized now. So that was a big road to Damascus moment. And of course, just watching and being involved in crypto. Everyone says it's a scam, I mean, it is. It's full of scams. But then you tell me one walk of life which is not full of scams. Tell me one.
Yeah.
You won't find one.
Yep.
Everywhere there's money, there's scams. So what you got to do is look at the underlying technology, the underlying capabilities, and that's what I did. And I realized there was the power to bring the value of daily healthcare to the hands of those who are actually doing it and who are receiving it, as opposed to it going into the traditional hands of the centralized entities, the corporate, technocrats and so forth. And so that was the sort of road to Damascus moment that has put me on this somewhat ambitious, people would say, ambitious path. I mean, I know it'll happen. I think it'll be me, because I'm last man standing, and I've built a way of existing that is very different from most. But if it's not me, it'll be someone else, because it's inevitable that people will take control of their own destinies at some point. It's kind of an inevitability.
By the way, Simon, I'm just curious to know, how does it sound from your perspective, or even from a perspective of man, to start doing things which people don't believe can scale and eventually call it a scam, but
Mm.
inside you believe on that, and it is something that's going to translate into something bigger, or at the minimum you are creating a platform for others to take it further.
Well, you've defined it, yes. How does it feel? At times, agonizing, at other times joyous. I mean, I have a hardcore team of supporters. There's been about 45 people come through our project in and out and who support us. And some of them are well known and famous. Some have been politicians. One of the leading politicians in the UK was a supporter. So the joy is in having people understand what you're trying to do, to believe in what you're trying to do, and to believe in yourself. There's no better joy than someone believing in what you're doing. And then, of course, in my case, to provide their work for no cost. So we have a community who are working for free. They're not being paid. They're being paid, or will be paid, once we succeed. And it's the open source model. It's what IBM and the others created. People work for their own particular reasons. They work because they believe in the project. They've got a father with dementia. They've got spare time. They like meeting people with similar skills, all the usual open source phenomena. And to have those people, even when I'm at my lowest, say, just keep going, keep going. And of course, some of them give us a little bit of funding in a sort of untraditional manner, is absolutely remarkable and very, very, very rewarding. Sorry, that was my dog trying to get into the room. So there's my biggest supporter of all, my dog. He's been a great support. Never underestimate the power of animals to support what you're doing.
Yeah,
I've had many a
definitely.
walk on a dark night with my dog. So, yes, I think the joy, the biggest joy of all of it is having people around you who, albeit they've got their own worlds and they're not full time, just are believing in the mission. It's very, very important.
So many care technologies fail because they don't fit real life. How did your own family's care experience shape the way you build ReMeLife?
Well, does ReMeLife fit real life? I mean, there's that famous Steve Jobs quote that I can't quote to you exactly, but people who always say in any startup incubator, you've got to make the product fit the need. You've got to solve a problem. That people have the failing of building something that others don't need. But Steve Jobs says the public doesn't know what they need. You've got to show them what they need. So there's two sides to every entrepreneurial story, and I think often incubators and universities, I guess, tend to teach the traditional model. The traditional model being you get an idea, you test it, you take it to a focus group, you remodel it, you go out and get seed funding, VC funding, high net worth investors, you pay your people, you raise enough money, and then the economic cycle happens and you haven't got enough money, you can't raise any more money because you're dependent upon investors and you go bust. That's 92% of businesses. And I looked at
Yeah.
that. I've looked at that all my life, actually, because, I've always been on. A geologist is an entrepreneur. When you're drilling half a mile into the ground, you're trying to persuade a lot of people to follow a dream. It is down there. I know what I'm doing. So I've always been that species that drills into the future with a vision that is only half formed, because you never know what you're drilling into as a geologist, truly. So it wasn't alien to me to sell the dream, because I learnt the sales techniques in other worlds. I think I've forgotten your question, actually, but I have. You fire away again. But how did it feel, I think, was the point. It's kind of comes with the label of entrepreneur, to be honest.
That sounds amazing. And you're launching a Leuki as an AI healthcare token. how do you see AI improving daily care support and connection for families?
Well, there's another one. Yes, I think your question was about madness. So I was told it was mad to launch a a token, an AI token in a Solana, which is the realm of memes, and that's the traditional view. Why would you go into a world that is full of gambling and corruption and so forth? My answer to that is very
Hmm.
simple. Gambling is everywhere. It's the biggest vice on the planet, and it's endorsed and sponsored and supported by governments. Governments love casinos, and I mean, let's face it, in the stock market, a lot of it is gambling. So nothing wrong with gambling. But gambling, if you have an opportunity to do research and make an educated decision, probably more than you do on the horses or football, has merit. And so I don't see gambling on a meme as being anything other than fun with, caveat emptor, buyer beware attached. And of course, 65% of those people gambling have someone in their life they're caring for. And the people who gamble are those usually who do it because they have no other means of making money. You don't buy a lottery ticket if you're Richard Branson or George Soros. Why would you buy a lottery ticket? You buy a lottery ticket if you're broke. So
Hmm.
I see the world of meme as being the world of crypto, very vibrant, very dramatic, very exciting community. 65% who need to care for someone, whether it's a granddad with dementia or a brother with autism. So I think it's a community that we can stimulate. And it's also a community that is abused in many ways. I'm a great believer in regulations, but I'm not a believer in abusive regulation that only regulates those who can't understand what's happening to them. I'm a great believer in regulations. It's important. I just think the financial markets should be greater regulated. We wouldn't have had 2008 crash if it had been. But so yes, it was an unusual approach. Whether it will work, I don't know, but it's a very strong way for us to build an early community, a community that will work for us. We've got a community that
Hmm.
out there right now, this
Hmm.
very minute, is blowing the trumpet of what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
I haven't paid anyone. I haven't paid a social media company 2,000 a month or an SEO company 2,000 a month or any other entity to promote us. I've found a community that believe in what we're doing and promotes us because they believe that they will benefit from the project either by using our technology or by the growth in the value of the token. That seems to me to be a unique opportunity. And this is our model to find a seed community that will grow with us and profit from it because they'll be in first. When our token goes to significant value, they'll profit because they've dug the trenches, to use the vernacular of the crypto world. They're in the trenches. And that's the way it should be. Most corporates are the other way round. Those doing the work, those driving the Uber taxis, those in Starbucks in the front line selling coffees, they get bugger all from what they do and what they achieve for the company. And in my view, they're equally valuable, if not more, than the corporate management, who get all the sweat equity and the bonuses and the payouts for creating subprime mortgages that eventually collapse the world. I believe, and I've come from that world, by the way. My background is from that background of those. I've known politicians and presidents and those that run the world, in my former existences pretty well. And I know how they operate and how they think. They don't think about the benefits of the working class beyond how to get them to vote for them and to not start a revolution. And I think that's just wrong. I'm not I'm a quasi-socialist, I suppose. Certainly not a any political radical believer, but I do believe in that there's massive potential in supporting, mobilizing, and benefiting the I hate to call them the working classes. I'm not quite sure what the phrase is these days, but it's what Google call the serfs, the underdogs. So I'm not interested in disruption. I'm just interested in empowering people, and healthcare is a
Hmm.
good place to start. I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox now. I'm always told by people around me not to get on it and just to focus on the tech. But it's very hard not to focus on the power of what we want to achieve, which is some greater sense of social equilibrium by greater stakeholding and sharing.
And just to add on, I think so. Cryptocurrency or the blockchain, it is mostly driven by the community, and the people are working constantly day and night without without the hope for any kind of paychecks, and they are just contributing in the community. And that's the beauty of the blockchain, and that's what it makes it so big and so threatful for the governments and for the institutes. And they're trying to regulate it, but still they are not being able to do so.
Well, there's many points in there. I mean, there's no doubt that everyone's working for money. I mean, I'm working for money because I want the business to grow, but I want that the predominance of the funds that come into the business to be, you know, shared within the community. And I believe that will drive community growth. It'll create the network effect and viral growth beyond just paying people. I think it's, it's a win-win. It's actually a win-win-win. And I think that's where a lot of businesses miss out because they're just, it's a corporate triangle with all the profits going to the top. I think if you flatten the structure, the management structure, because our community are managing themselves. If you flatten the management structure, you've got a far greater potential for growth. So I think that's critical in the model we've created. I mean, pretty much everything we do is different from the norm. Don't build a platform, build one product and just sell one product like books like Amazon do. We haven't done that. We've gone and built a platform doing everything, which is completely wrong. Unless you believe in the MIT model of multi-sided business platforms, but most people don't dare do it. But we did it. Employ staff, raise money through VC, seed capital. We've done the opposite to everything, and I've done that through personal experience. I'm not young. I aspire to the Elon Musk belief in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Everything revolves around 42. So I'm living this illusion of being 42 years old, but I'm not. I've got experience, and I've seen so many of these models break. These traditional models break continuously. So I've had the I don't know, call it the wisdom or the need to actually try something different. So yes, we have gone out on a limb and completely changed the model. And I think now we've got the right time. The timing is right now. People are looking for something new, for decentralization. The communities are powering themselves. I mean, the media world is falling to pieces because people are creating their own content. The BBC's profits are down because people don't watch it anymore. We're in a very disruptive, evolving era. So I think we're in the right place, the right time, and to have what we're doing be accepted and to be seen as a new way forward and a way that will be beneficial to society. We're not looking to be disruptive. You mentioned that, governments and the Fed and corporates and every other traditional entity is running scared. The generic reason for this is Bitcoin and alongside that AI. But underneath that is a whole layer of other businesses that are doing things, from healthcare, I mean, you name it. Things are happening that are going to change the world. And I would say we're in the most transformative time that the human species has ever seen. And the question is, who's going to make those transformations and who's going to control them? And I think it's critical that people have an element of control in it. Otherwise, we're heading towards a society that's going to become rather top heavy and even dystopian. See, I'm back on my soapbox again. My apologies.
Okay, that sounds good. So, like, you have built platforms, events, publication, venues, and startups across all these experiences.
Mm.
What's the one entrepreneurial lesson that has stayed with you through every success and every failure?
I don't think I can do one. I think if you haven't got resilience, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur because it takes massive amount of resilience in every different aspect. I mean, there's this lovely phrase, pivot. That sounds so nice, pivot. But the recognition of the need to pivot and then the ability to do it is far more complex than that simple word expresses. And I think most entrepreneurs have to pivot, whether the whole business or one aspect of it or one element of it. So I would say resilience is the main thing. If you're not resilient and if you can't handle being in the frying pan, then you shouldn't be in there. That's number one. And I have always had resilience, courtesy of being, through many different worlds. Most businesses and most successful businessmen, if you look at their past, they've all been up and down, and it's never the clear path that either they describe it as or it looks like. It's always very, volatile and problematic. So I'd say you've got to be resilient. The other thing, of course, is look for those magic moments that come. I call them road to Damascus moments, but when they come, grab them because they probably are subconsciously delivered courtesy of the breadth of experience that you've experienced in life, but perhaps not properly processed until that point. So look for those moments and cherish them.
Got it, Simon. So, Simon, we are now going to move towards our next segment, which is rapid fire round. And the rule here is you cannot think before giving an answer. So, as
Oh,
soon
good
as I
God.
stop asking question, you have to give an answer. So, are you ready?
I guess so.
Okay. So, one word that defines you as a founder,
Brave.
a sector you believe will be transformed by Web3 next,
Uh, Healthcare.
your favorite type of problem to solve, technical, human, or strategic.
Well, all three, but I'm only allowed to choose one. Um, I guess for me, it's human.
One thing you wish every founder in health tech understood.
Oh, people.
Are you a bigger risk taker or problem solver?
Um, I guess I'm both, but one is that's a strange question. Um, I suppose I'm. I don't like that question. I don't like it at all. I really hate it. Problem solver, risk taker. Problem solver, risk taker. I'm both, but I suppose I will solve. I'm a problem solver. As a geologist, which is where I started, I had to find the answer. So that makes me a problem solver.
Okay. AI, blockchain, or community, which drives the future of healthcare?
Well, I think AI is the one that people's going to see. Blockchain is invisible. So blockchain has done its stuff. It's a proven tech. AI is still emerging. I mean, if you use ChatGPT or any of them, they're a nightmare. Brilliant, but a nightmare. With their hallucinations. So it's AI that is visible to everyone. So therefore, it will be what is perceived as being the adoption of new tech. Jesus, you wanted a one word answer. AI.
What's the one book or idea that changed how you think about people?
A faith.
One bold prediction for the future of care in 2030.
Personalized care with a hyphen. So it's one word. Personalized care. Care is going to become
Thank you.
again more personalized due to AI.
Uh, because of the AI, right?
Yeah, that's
Got
what we're
it.
doing.
Thank you so much for sharing the insight, Simon. I really enjoyed this podcast and this discussion with you and our audience and me also personally. We want to see people like you succeeding in the healthcare because you guys are the ones who are pushing the boundaries, who are taking it one step ahead, and hopefully our paths cross again. But this time you would have a successful community and a successful token.
Well, I got to say,
And
and just to have the last word and to get back onto my soapbox, to those that are listening, you should go to remelife.com and sign up. And when you sign up, you'll be able to have access to the platform. There's no cost. There may be a small subscription later on, but there's no cost. And just talk to Lukey, and you'll find he's an AI that is totally personalized, learns about you, gets to know you, because most AI these days doesn't. It just learns its LLM, fills itself with knowledge about the internet and not about you. If it learns about you, it's learning data that it's not going to specifically use for your benefit. It's going to use it for commercial benefits. We're very unusual. So come and take a look at us. If you want to participate, whether it's using our apps or even being part of the community and benefiting from the profit and its potential growth, then come and buy some tokens. We're always here. We're completely available. We are something that is going to be around for a long time, and we'd love you to join us and grow with us. And thank you to you. It's been Saleemi. It's been great. Thank you very much for your questions.
thank you, Simon, and hope everyone will enjoy this conversation. Until then, keep finding the tech that finds you.
Thank you.